All right. Uh, Hello, everyone. This is Prateek Gandhi. I look after marketing and growth at Covalent. We also have the Rockstar Covalent team alongside me, and we all would like to welcome you all to our second community call. And as promised last time, we also have a guest in Gabriel Cardona. He's from Ava Labs, and he'll also be speaking during the course of this call. Thanks, Gabriel, for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's Cardona, for what it's
Cardona.
worth.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a common mistake, but yeah, it is my actual last name.
Thank you for correcting. So yeah, a lot has happened in the month of May. We just pushed our newsletter. I'm sure you must have gone, but yeah, there's definitely, like, on the product side, on the dev side, on the Alchemist Program side, there's a lot happening. The token distribution is going to be happening soon as well. So yeah, there are like many updates that we'll be covering today, and let me pass it on to our CEO and co-founder Ganesh, who can cover what's happened in May and what's lined up in June.
Thank you, Prateek. Hey guys, I'm Ganesh. Some of you guys know me, some of you guys are seeing me for the first time. I'm one of the founders of Covalent along with Levi. We've been building the project for the past couple of years. So there's, I would say the month of May has been pretty rocky for the general crypto markets. But that hasn't phased us. We continue to build, we'll continue to ship software, we continue to provide value to our community and continue marching on. We built through the bear market, so a little bit of correction here and there is not going to unseat us. So I'm just excited to share a lot of the high level highlights. There's just so much going on with Covalent and our ecosystem and with our partners that it's difficult to cover all of that in depth on a single call. And so best way is to hang out on Discord and maybe reach out to the team if you want specific details, either after this call or anytime. We're always available and approachable. So Prateek has put out an agenda for the big bullet items that we want to discuss. But I would say high level, let's start with the dev and product update. So we are a product-focused company. We have a product that has hundreds of customers today, and we're continuing to ship features on that side. So I would say the highest priority for the month of May is just making the entire system stable. So we've grown aggressively for all of this year. We basically, I think, like close to 10x growth just in our API calls, just with excellent projects and excellent partners. Like Avalanche, right? So Ava Labs, they're one of our key partners. So, we did the hackathon with them. So just onboarding a lot of projects and, DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, there's lots of areas of traction that we're seeing. So our number one priority is to make the system stable. So Levi and the rest of the engineering team has just made sure that we focus on writing down the technical debt, making sure our systems are stable, making sure people are respectful of the API, making sure that one person's crazy program doesn't negatively impact the rest of the customers, things of that sort. So it's mostly, I would say, fiddling around with the core engine. And the product, I would say, I'm proud to say that it's a lot more stable. We are actually able to have full night's sleep. It's no longer waking up at 4 a.m. Because there's been some downtime, some crisis, and customers are screaming. So that it's happening less and less of that. So we'll continue to focus on that. We are also actively recruiting DevOps and systems reliability engineers to help us scale that functionality. So I would say that's the biggest highlight. Beyond that, just continue to ship features. For example, we are looking to add more blockchains to our roster of already blockchains. So we have Arbitrum, which is an exciting layer 2 scaling solution. We're looking to add other kinds of blockchains. You'll hear about that. So that's the high level updates on the dev and the product. I will now move on to the Alchemist program. So as you guys know, the Alchemist program is something that we have shepherd here at Covalent. It's a growth and leadership program. And we now have thousands of alchemists who are actively engaged in the community. So we not only have like content generation, DevOps augmentation, we also have other kinds of things like workshops. But I'm not going to spill the beans here. I'm going to let Jackie share some of the highlights on what's happened with the Alchemist program, including the incoming cohort that has just been recruited. So on to you, Jackie.
Thanks, Ganesh. So it's super exciting because we just had one of our onboarding calls to welcome the new season for Alchemists. So we welcomed a whole entire 700 new people to the Covalent Alchemist fam. We now have a total of 2,000, and it's been insane and such a great opportunity to work with such a bunch that has just a great amount of energy that wants to contribute, learn about Covalent, and just really focus on the growth and development aspects of the program, and have had a lot of alchemists already championing, from leading like 5, 10 to 20 or 30 groups of other alchemists in different leadership initiatives. But big highlights would be, we have had a total of 27, soon 28 regional communities launched, and all of these are ran by alchemists. We have been providing more training, and they've been growing their teams from anywhere from like 5 to 10 people. We've had our OGs really champion tons of initiatives too. We have workshops that have been launched that are actually taught by alchemists too, who either have experience in like teaching, running curriculums. And the last one that we did was based on social tokens. And we actually have one coming up tomorrow with 2 women who, one has experience in building smart contracts, and we'll be showing you how to do that using the Covalent API to pull data. And it's going to be a 2-part series. So we'll be seeing tons of those coming out too, which has been something that alchemists have been wanting to showcase. And another big one was, we did have a Turkish alchemist who is an instructor too in real life, who developed an entire course on his own based on the Covalent API, and had in just a matter of 1 week 4,000 registrants, which was amazing for our team to see. But we've continued just to see a lot of cool things that alchemists have been either incorporating, like their colleagues, their families, things such as like baking cakes, like creating their own swag and own merchandise like wallets, keychains, t-shirts, and including like families doing things together where they're like watercoloring with their kids, or they're showing like gym routines, which has been insane to see. And excited that season 4 will have a lot more upcoming fun things for alchemists to do in terms of being able to showcase their passions while learning and growing and developing within the program. But yeah, it's continuously taking a life of its own and going to continue to grow. We have many more plans for what we want the program to get to. And I feel like this is just the beginning. And to reach this amount of growth in a matter of just 2.5 months has been insane, but it wouldn't be possible without the community and having a lot of the community driven initiatives. So we're super grateful and thank you guys, and are very excited to see what more things are initiated. But I feel like I haven't even covered or scratched the top of a lot of things that you guys are doing. So yeah, that's basically some updates from my side.
Maybe 1 or 2 sentences on the new dashboard that was built by one of our superstars, Katrina. Maybe highlight some points there. Hi, Katrina.
Yeah, so it's been awesome. We've been doing a lot of the stuff manually, and including processes that like our OGs have helped us with. But we have finally launched our dashboard, which Katarina has done such an amazing job in just making everything more automated and being able to like claim tasks, view your progress. And again, we're looking to add more features. So big shout out to her for doing that for us. So had a lot of comments from alchemists who are joining the season and previous alchemists saying that they love the new design and they love the features and are super excited to get started on that. But yeah, we officially have a dashboard for the program.
Amazing. It's very inspiring to see this program take a life of its own. When initially it's hard to believe it's only been 2.5 months, but this was just an idea. It's a bunch of models in a spreadsheet. But now when you see it in the flesh and you are actually interacting with people, that one kettlebell, Covalent branded kettlebell, that's so inspiring. And then I had to go and work out just to to see what it feels like. Hadn't done kettlebell for a while, and then I was I had downtime for like 2 days after, but that's a different story. Okay, so the next bullet item is CQT distribution and everything along those lines. Whatever we can share, maybe Adrian and Eric, you guys can take the lead. Please share what's going on, what can our token holders expect, and things along those lines.
Sure. The CoinList sale participants should be receiving their tokens in their wallets by the end of day today, fingers crossed. The latest, it will be tomorrow. So I just confirmed with CoinList. Everything looks on track for end of day today. Just to be clear, the withdrawal feature will be enabled after 1 or 2 weeks. So the tokens will be in the wallet, but they will not be withdrawable immediately. CoinList uses a custodian. So this is a custodial wallet that we're talking about. And so, you can imagine setting this up for 14,000 people. It takes a little bit of time, but just please bear with them. And everything looks like it's lining up for June 16th, let's say UTC 000 withdrawal enabled. That's what it looks like at the moment. We'll keep everyone updated. CoinList, of course, provide their own communications to sale participants who they email. We will echo those comms on our FAQ and push those out through Discord and Telegram as well as they're available. So private sale participants as well essentially will receive at the same time. There's no one group or the other will materially get different timing. Okay. So related to that, obviously, is the next big question, which would be listings and such. Eric can speak to that a little bit. I don't know how much he can disclose, but go ahead, Eric.
Great, the $1 million question. Before Christmas, guys, before Christmas. Yeah, no, joking. We're talking to a couple of exchanges. Obviously, we're having some pretty good conversations. There's been a lot of question marks based on some of the recent crackdowns that people have read or seen on the internet. So it's put some question marks in the air as to what's going to happen for our listing. But I think we're pushing through it. We're talking to a lot of parties and names that everyone's familiar with. We're having some great conversations. It'll end up at all of the usual places that people hope they'll end up at some point or another. It's just a question of when. I know I'm speaking very ominously, but it's hard to speak in direct facts when contracts are all in the air and everyone's still discussing. But it's all good.
Yeah. So the intention, of course, is to have liquidity when the tokens are distributed at the same time. Best case scenario, might be let's say 3 listings. Worst case might be 2. Just for example, right?
Yeah, we'll also have video tutorials and complete walkthroughs so that you can just follow this step by step. Of course, we're always available. We probably even have a workshop, conducted. So if you have any questions, we can all jointly partake in the liquidity mining programs.
Yeah, sure. So just to be clear, no tokens have been distributed to anybody apart from, I won't say, but that's just like the treasury essentially, right? So, but there's no tokens anywhere, right? So the private sale participants will, our intention is not to provide it to them before CoinList, right? So we don't want that. We want to avoid that situation that Ganesh described, and we're doing everything in our power to manage that in a responsible way.
Awesome, thank you. So let's move on to the next bullet item, which is developer relations the events, hackathons, all the fun little stuff that, that's pretty exciting. So Harish, give us an update. This is going to be a meaty one, so I'm excited to see what we're going to share with the community.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. So I'm pretty excited to talk about our developer events over the past month, which we've had a couple of big ones, and even more excited to talk about what's going to be probably an absolutely crazy next 2 months. So much for a calm summer. So during the past month, we were a sponsor at Scaling Ethereum, which is an ETH global event, and distributed 3,000 in prizes to 3 really well developed projects around DeFi portfolio value visualizations, tracking layer 2 token flows from Ethereum, and even a digital canvas that's collating data from multiple chains, all using the Covalent API. And then we just recently wrapped up our industry-leading data science campaign, which is called Dungeons and Data, with 1inch Network, and we were completely blown away by some of the over 100+ submissions from the nearly 2,000 registrations. You can ask my colleague Brandon, who I don't think slept for the last couple of days because he's so excited going through those submissions. So with every campaign, we see the bar getting set higher and higher, which is just awesome. So what's next? It's definitely not going to be a quiet summer on the developer relations side with the hackathon. So in the next few days, we're going to announce our next iteration of the crypto wallet design competition, 1 million wallets with Phantom Foundation, who we've just recently partnered to do this campaign with. So 15,000 USD in prizes for both the hackathon and community challenges are going to be coming up for grabs. And then we're also going to be officially announcing us indexing the RSK sidechain, which powers Bitcoin native DeFi applications. And we're going to be participating about halfway through the Sovereign Gitcoin hackathon. This is really exciting for us because there's so much that needs to be built with Sovereign, and they're putting up 250,000 in bounties plus another 250,000 in post-hackathon grants, which is basically going to serve as rocket fuel for some really promising projects being built with RSK. So that's going to be a lot of fun there. And then mid-month, so mid-June, Covalent is a sponsor at the upcoming Hack Money ETH Global event, which is the largest DeFi hackathon of 2021. And we'll have Ganesh and Brandon running a live workshop on June 16th, so stay tuned for that. And then lastly, I'm just going to reveal some of the details of yet another 1 million wallets. This time it'll just be the hackathon part, and it's really going to push for some solid projects, which our partner can pour some serious funds into. And our partner here just happens to be an EVM compatible network associated with the world's largest crypto exchange. So I'll let you figure out who that is. So it's going to be a really busy summer of building, an opportunity to earn some serious prize money, and even potentially start your own full-scale project or a startup with the prize money that's up for grabs. So looking forward to a lot of fun this summer.
Thank you, Harish. So, hackathons are crucial to the success of Covalent. In fact, Covalent started at a hackathon. So, it's extremely important. So it doesn't matter what the market conditions are, we'll continue to invest and inspire these devs to build the future. So they're extremely important. I'm just going to take a small break here, and there's a question from one of our community members. Is there a plan defined already for distributing the tokens to the Alchemist? Like, when will it be, and so on? So Adrian, can you please share some insight on that?
Sure. So season 1 and season 2 rewards are pretty much set. So those are the ones that we will distribute first or have available for distribution, right? So I think this came up on an Alchemist call yesterday as well, in terms of like how the mechanics of the distribution will take place. That's still TBD, but it's a ERC20 token. So, there's only so many ways it can be done. Either we can transfer it, or it can be through Merkle drop or such, right? So, so season 1 and 2, I can commit to giving you the exact details probably next week. So we ideally we want to have that lined up as close to possible, or alongside everyone else, that first group of CQT that's being distributed. Beyond that, season 3, season 4, there we have to look at what is a reasonable amount of time after the end of the season, and then till the point that it can be distributed, right, through whichever mechanism. So there, the issue really is just about quality control, making sure all the tasks that were completed were actually completed by the right person, and that the amount of rewards, a lot of that should get more, better and better, and in terms of our processes. We have the dashboard, we have the teams, we have the process now. So our intention is to reduce that time to as short a time as possible, something reasonable, right? So there needs to be a little bit of buffer from the end of the season till like everything is finalized in terms of the rewards, and then a distribution point. Now, what is that reasonable time? Is it a couple of weeks? Is it something like that? Probably, right? I can't tell you exactly now, but it will be something that if I was an alchemist, I would probably feel like, okay, that makes sense. That's what we always do, right? We always try to look through the eyes of the customer and have a good experience for everyone.
Amazing. Thank you, Adrian. So now let's go to governance update. So Priti, can you give us an update on what's happening with the network? How are we governing? How are we sharing the responsibility with our community?
Yeah, so since the last governance call that we had, or the first community call that we had, we've had a couple of things. I mean, like one of them is like a proposal, and that is a proposal to indexing IATX blockchain. I think that's something that we discussed internally as well. But if you want to share thoughts here, I mean, we maybe keep it open to the community. And there are a couple of more updates as well. But yeah, let's maybe go over this and then the other things.
Sure. So we do have a process. I think the next step there is for Eric and I to share, open source that process on how do we choose to index a particular blockchain. Just like how we open source our process of deciding where to settle the Covalent network. That you can read that on CoinMarketCap. It was actually a very valuable piece of resource for the community who's going through the same journey. So I think it's the same thing here. We should just open source it. It's about, why did we choose to partner with, Avalanche, right? There's a very clear process. It's not ad hoc. So I think the next step there is to share our process there. There was a question about Solana that had come up last time. And there the process is, yes, everything is good. Solana is an exceptional team. There's demand. Now the bottleneck is, how do you find a Rust engineer to do the work? Until then it's all just talk, right? So we have a job opening for a Rust engineer, and that is directly an outcome from the discussion that happened last month. So I think the next step here is for us to open source that, so that there are hundreds of blockchains coming online over the next couple of years, and they all have a fair and transparent process on how to get them indexed.
Yep. The second thing that we have, I mean, it's more of a suggestion than a proposal. That's what I see. It's basically an API for to grab the first coin listings on, let's say, different centralized exchanges. So this guy, I mean, I think seems to be like a retailer and going after, let's say, some of the dog coins that are like getting listed on different exchanges. I mean, it's just a suggestion that, yeah, people just get FOMO'd into like different shitcoins that are there. But if there's an API built by Covalent, then it makes it easier for us to kind of get into these coins, like ape into these coins faster.
Yeah, definitely. This is a question for the product team. So we'll assess this and figure out if it fits within our roadmap, for sure.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, those were a couple of things that happened on the forum. But in the back end, there's like on the internal side, like in terms of like getting the governance structure and getting everything in place, we have been like working with like different people and different like partners, wherein we are getting, let's say, like a token gated onboarding flow for the entire, let's say, Discord or the forum itself, or some of the articles that are getting published from our side. There's going to be an active snapshot page. We've already kind of done the execution for that. We're just waiting for the token to get live. Once that is live, we will have like an active snapshot page wherein you can do like an offline, off-chain voting with the CQT that you would have. In addition to that, of course, we will be working on like different set of documentations and tutorials so that you get to know how to use these tools, because these are like Web3 native tools. And yeah, I mean, it is very important for us to kind of have you guys involved, I mean, completely in this. So yeah, and then some of the alchemists will also be helping us on this, on the governance side, getting it structured. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's happening, but you will be seeing like it being in shape in like the next few weeks. And yeah, and then we are hoping that the first proposal essentially that goes like for an off-chain voting and comes off through that, I mean, would be live soon. So yeah, I mean, those are a few updates. I can't like share more on this, but yeah, we are working in the back end in terms of like how to get things structured. But yeah, and feel free to add more things on the forum. The forum is live for anyone to kind of add like different things in terms of the community, the Alchemist program, the research, which is essentially the Alpha Alarm led by Brandon. We also have Covalent improvement proposals where you can add like different things, like we just discussed, like the couple of proposals and suggestions. So yeah, we're happy to kind of like look through them at this point and like verbally discuss on these calls and like even like take action as we are already doing it.
Absolutely. So there's not much to do until the token is live, and that's why it doesn't seem like there's anything on the surface. But behind the scenes, you know, one of the most exciting things about this space is how many high quality people there are. So shout out to some of our partners on the governance side, Denison from Vote with Tally. That's an excellent governance forum. Shreyas from the Llama community, Cooper from Friends with Benefits. So we're just, basically downloading their brains to the Covalent, nervous system here and trying to understand what is best, what is fair, how do we do the exceptional job with governance, just like how we have done it with our partners and with our product and with our token sale and so on. I think it's the same level of caliber we need to bring to governance. So I think it's just a lot of learning on our side. And you'll hear more about this in the coming weeks. Okay, so the final point here is very honored to have Gabriel here as a guest. So a few words about Gabriel. We had a office hour or a podcast, whatever format you want to call it, a couple of weeks ago. Definitely, we'll put the link to YouTube in our show notes or our notes here. And I get on a lot of podcasts. I can do like 2 or 3 podcasts a week, right? So I get in a lot of podcasts, but that 1 hour session with Gabriel was so inspiring, right? And I listened to that podcast like 2 or 3 times after, and I think it's a must listen. Like, it's timeless. The attitude and the inspiration that was dropped on that 1 hour session, it felt like, he was like hugging me virtually through the monitor, and I felt so warm and so inspired. And now, like, nothing matters. You just have to work hard, do what is right, and continue to build. And I highly recommend everyone rewatch that thing. That's one of the few videos where I do not do a 2x because I didn't want it to stop so fast, because 2x is half the time. So very honored to have Gabriel join us as a guest from the community. So Gabriel, on to you. Whatever you want to share about Avalanche, Aval Labs. Yeah, it's all you.
Sure. So first, thank you for the kind words. It means a lot. And yeah, I just want to say congratulations to your team and your entire community. It appears that things are absolutely on fire, and I'm just a lot of credit to, I think, the professionalism and the discipline and the vision of your team. So just massive congratulations to everybody involved. So yeah, I just have a few notes here we can go over, and then I kind of have an exciting announcement that's relevant to this particular team, and then we can do Q&A, or we can call it a day, whatever you guys want. So first, just briefly for anybody on this call who might not know what Avalanche is. So Avalanche is a global financial network for the issuing and trading of all digital goods. And we enable millions of transactions. We enable millions of validators, millions of validators to process thousands of transactions per second, and the transactions settle nearly instantly. And so we have basically achieved this using a protocol which is totally green and quiescent. It's called Avalanche Consensus. We think it's the third big paradigm in consensus after classical consensus and then Nakamoto consensus. And we have paired Avalanche Consensus with an architecture that can meet the needs of unique financial products and decentralized apps. And basically we accomplish this through what we call subnets. And this will speak again to why Covalent is so important to Aval Labs. So subnets allow anyone anywhere to basically spin up a tailor-made network with a custom virtual machine and a complex validator rule set. So basically you can think about Avalanche, it's like a platform of platforms, and we envision there will be thousands and thousands of public and private networks all emerging into what we're calling the Internet of Finance. So that's our buzzword, that's what we're building, is the Internet of Finance. And we know already just from looking at the market, even on our own network, but you guys know this even more because you're a multi-blockchain team. Now we envision that the blockchain is ultimately going to be as meaningful as the web and beyond. So, you know, if you could go back to 1968, 1973, and you could talk to the people creating TCP/IP or the original ARPANET, and you could sort of give them a sense of how their work would ultimately impact. There's the internet, and out of that came the web and email and peer-to-peer networks and so many different things because of the way the internet was architected to be extendable and modular. And so we envision doing the same thing ultimately for finance. And we imagine that the blockchain is going to be as transformative as the web, or potentially even greater. And we can already see, you know, we're of the opinion that the blockchain is going mainstream. Within the next 10 years, we will experience more technological innovation than the previous 100 years. That's if you can wrap your mind around that, you'll be very successful. But so anything, you know, if you're picturing adoption taking many years, it's going to be compressed because the pace of change is accelerating. And so we already see that just due to the variety and the different needs of blockchain apps, there will be a multi-blockchain world. And so we are hoping to build the tools to empower that. And currently we have a network live, our primary subnet, and it has 3 blockchains already. It has one that is super optimized for payments, and one that is super optimized for smart contracts because they have slightly different requirements for the applications. Then we have one that does administrative tasks. And of course, we are abstracting this all into a framework where we offer the very best in class suite of functionality to build completely permissionless networks, all the way to regulatory compliant and permissioned networks, and, you know, everything in between. And so in this world where there's going to be multiple blockchains, that's what we're hoping to empower. On the flip side of that is something like Covalent, which is ultimately offering insight into different assets across multiple blockchains, right? So it's like bread and butter. It really is a very, very sweet mix, sweet combination. And we already see, not only are we having multiple blockchains, we're also moving into this world where there's going to be bridges. So, you know, you can think about like the Ethereum virtual machine is the canonical example. Ethereum was a network, but it happened to have a virtual machine at its core that could, again, sort of be teased out and launched on other networks, right? So there's Binance Smart Chain, and there's Matic, and there's our C Chain, and they're all different instances of the Ethereum virtual machine. And now there's bridging technology that allows you to bring your ERC20 and ERC721 assets between the different networks. And we imagine that that same paradigm, that same pattern is going to be repeated across other virtual machines and across other networks. So as multiple subnetworks launch on Avalanche, we imagine there will be bridges between all of them. And then as people take the virtual machines that are on these other subnetworks and perhaps launch them as their own layer 1 networks, there will be bridges between them. And so we're just right at the beginning of this multi-blockchain, very bridged world. And so a product like Covalent, again, that provides insight into assets across multiple blockchains is absolutely the right idea at the right time. And so we are of the opinion that you guys are genuinely one of the most promising teams in the entire blockchain ecosystem. I'm not just saying that because I'm on the call. I was repping you guys hard yesterday at a BizDev call. I really do think you guys have the vision, and more importantly, I think you have probably the discipline and the technical ability to see this vision through. So I think that's the most important part. Not only do you have the vision, I think you guys have a really great team. And so we are betting pretty big on you guys. We're using Covalent in a yet to be announced project, so I kind of got to tread lightly here. But basically, again, we think bridges are going to be huge in the future. Any network that has value on it will be bridged to other similar virtual machines that have value, because there's value, there's combinatorial explosive, there's network effect value in providing rails between networks, obviously. And you'll have compound network effects if one network is really going off and another network is really going off. And we see that right now with the bridge between Avalanche and Ethereum. You can move assets back and forth. You can call smart contracts between the two networks. That is obviously going to continue to grow. So we have a new bridge that we're working on. It's a whole new paradigm. It's faster and it's cheaper, the way these things always tend to go. And we are using Covalent on multiple fronts. So we're using it to get token data so that we cannot whitelist tokens. And then we're also doing some data capture. So without revealing too much, basically we are like summing inflows and outflows of, between Ethereum and Avalanche of different assets and USD. And we're summing those, and then we're also doing totals and verses, and then we're also doing like referring points. Where did this asset come from? Did it come from a wallet? Did it come from an exchange? Did it come from a DApp, that kind of thing? And so we intend this bridge to be the next big paradigm, and of course Covalent is at the core of that. So I think that's very exciting. But I think the big announcement that I wanted to make here is that we are actually looking to make a full-time hire for someone to do internal analytics around Covalent. And so I'm going to really quickly just paste my contacts into this chat room here. I put my Telegram and Twitter, that is CG Cardona, and my email is gabriel@avalabs.org. If you think you might be the right person to join our team and help build out a suite of analytics around Covalent in this whole multi-blockchain paradigm, please reach out to me. But I think that's what I have to share. Again, I just want to give, congratulate you guys on all your progress, and I only see more of the same. So keep it up.
Thank you so much. Markets never stop, fire engines never stop. So thank you so much, Gabriel, for sharing that. And we will put the word out to our community, especially our alchemists. We have about a dozen data hardcore, how we affectionately like to call them, as data nerds, who would love to take up on this opportunity. I think working with an exceptional project like Avalabs is a dream come true for many of our alchemists. So well, thank you for sharing that. So let's just push hard on this thing. Okay, so we are coming towards the close of our call. There is the Q&A session, but before that, I just want to share a single piece of advice that has helped me. So the markets go up, markets go down. There's pullback, there's drawdown, there's 100% increases. It's very, very chatty, right? It's very noisy. And the best thing you can do is to invest in yourself, honestly. Forget, tokens, forget even Covalent, right? Don't tie your self-worth to some random token out there, because they can go up and they can go down. But invest in yourself. So invest in yourself by participating in, for example, the Alchemist Program. Look at those workshops that are happening tomorrow. Two exceptional people, I want to call them out, Ganesh and Jennifer, right? Those are our two alchemists who are doing that workshop. Yeah. So I watch those things and I'm like, wow, this is pretty amazing. And that kind of investment will always pay off. It's timeless, and it's not tied to a dollar figure, because it's a multi-year, multi-decade compounding kind of asset that you're building. So definitely invest in yourself. And if the recent market downturn has affected you, stay strong. I think this is again over multiple years. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Who knows when the next bear market is coming? But invest in yourself, because you'll always come ahead if you do that investment. So that's just that has helped me build through the bear market. We invested in ourselves. We invested in Covalent. There was nothing going on. The markets were dead. There were no conferences. There's nothing. And then we're able to stay strong. So now it's Q&A. If the community has questions, we're all ears. We probably have another 10 minutes for Q&A. Have you done such an amazing job sharing everything that there are no questions? I don't believe it.
Yeah, there is
Okay.
a question about when we'll be listing on CoinList. I mean, I don't know. Like, is that CoinList or KOIIST? I think it is CoinList. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, once the tokens are unlocked, I think CoinList has their own exchange, so they're free to. I think you'll get listed there.
Yeah.
That's usually how these things go.
No, not necessarily. So it depends on agreements with the exchanges.
But
So
CoinList exchange?
Yeah, that's a separate agreement.
Okay, interesting.
So there's no guarantees of that. I have a question sorry, go ahead.
There's a question about whether a roadmap will be published. And the answer is yes. I think we need to be more transparent about what features are coming up, and how we plan to grow the team, and what kind of projects are coming up, events. I think we need to put some more. And we recently got Anadi as our product manager, and he's just warming up. So I think it'll be on him to share the roadmap. Basically forward-looking product and token-related, governance-related features. Okay, compliments to Eric. Nice guitars. What was it, Pratik?
No, yeah, of course, guitars. A couple of questions here in the Q&A section. Please, could you elaborate about the dashboard? Jackie, Katrina, Katerina, do you want to update?
Yeah, I can share the dashboard.
Ganesh. Yeah, sure.
So, the Alchemist program is one of its kind, right? I think there are other kinds of growth programs like this, but this is our program. This is something that was envisioned in-house and executed almost to, like, I would say, to perfection by the OGs. Like, there's no question, no doubt about that. Look at where it's come in just 2.5 months. So it's a very aggressive growth program. So the challenge is that a lot of the management of tasks and the routing of rewards was done in Google Sheets. And it was cool to see in real time how the sheet was being populated, and people were organizing stuff and making the tasks go through QA. But all of that was manual. So there's always people deleting rows, people stepping on each other's toes, no clear kind of process. But that is necessary. You want to do things that do not scale initially to understand what problems are critical and what problems are worth solving. Not every problem is worth solving, because time and resources is finite. So we did that for the first 3 seasons. And so now that we have a good handle on how we do the onboarding, how the rewards can be distributed, what are the tasks worth, what is the collaboration aspect, then we said, okay, let's put down some automation around these tasks and built a dashboard. So this dashboard is, I would say, our first pseudo product. It's not really our product. It's exclusively for the Alchemists. and then you can see, there'll be drops there. When the staking features are live, there'll be a jump off point where you have your Covalent tokens, you can redeem them and then lock them up directly into the staking. You can trade from the dashboard. So there are all these features that are planned for it. So I would say this is exclusively for our community. You'll have updates, you'll have leaderboards, you'll have all kinds of things. So I would say that's the vision behind the dashboard, as opposed to having like a bunch of spreadsheets that don't really have any kind of control on the data. At the end of the day, we are a data company, so we have to make sure that the data is secure. So that's what this process is on. So hope that helps. Next question is, how do you choose what to index, which endpoints to add to the API? How are you going to scale API when there are so many dApps that need to be indexed? These are fantastic questions. So we have 3 kinds of API endpoints: Class A, Class B, and to be announced Class C. So Class A endpoints are generic endpoints that is accessible on every blockchain that we support. So if you want to find out token transfers or token balances or historical granular transaction activity, you can use one of the Class A endpoints, and it's literally one character change to move from something like Ethereum to the Avalanche C chain to Binance Smart Chain. The schema, the responses, the interactivity, exactly the same. So that's the Class A endpoint. The Class B endpoints are specific to a dApp. Now, all of the Class B endpoints are built by our team in-house. So this could be PancakeSwap on BSC. This could be something like Pangolin on Avalanche. This could be Uniswap on Ethereum, QuickSwap on Polygon, and so on. Now, you're exactly right. There's no way to scale this because when we started, there were maybe like 15 dApps. Now there are probably 500 dApps. I would say by end of next year, there'll be 5,000 dApps, no question. This space is blowing up. Are we going to hire 5,000 people to build these Class B endpoints? Answer is no. The way to scale this is to let the community build these endpoints. So this is where we call the Class C endpoints. You can see some early signs of the marketplace. Essentially, it's a way for people to go and build essentially community maintained endpoints, so add endpoints, and earn CQT rewards when they're queried. So it's a way for opening up and scaling this market economy. At the end of the day, Covalent is a network. It's a middleware layer. We are not the source of the data. The blockchains are the source of data, and we're not building destination products either. We are just that person who's checking your passport and your ID on your way to your flight to vacation. We're just that, right? So we just make sure the data is correct and you're authorized to board on this beautiful flight. So we're just facilitating that connection. So that's how we're going to scale that. Stay tuned for news on that. It's going to be the next leg of our growth. Eric wanted to share something, or was it a question? Or you just want to say how awesome your guitars are? I don't know.
No, I was actually going to say that I have a question for the community. Actually, I would love to know in the answers or just in the chat what you would like to see more from us about. If you have suggestions or things that we're not doing well, or things you'd be more curious, we're looking for feedback. We're looking for ways to improve and not just answer the questions in your mind, but like show you things that you're curious about. So if you have suggestions, please throw those down in the chat as well. We take those seriously.
One of the suggestions is I want to have better tasks with the Alchemist program and a roadmap. Maybe we should have a section in our dashboard where you can recommend tasks for review.
So I guess I can chat a little bit more about the tasks. So throughout every season or before the start of a new season, we do give the opportunity for Alchemists to actually implement or tell us what tasks that they want to see for the next season. So a lot of the ones that you guys actually see for this season were recommendations from Alchemists from season 2 and season 3. And we have had the function where people can suggest ideas. We don't have that in the dashboard or like as a feature right now, but we're working to have that built in. But we will have the capabilities of being able to submit ideas under review, but the tasks are always changing. So if you do have recommendations or things that you even want to work on, just let us know, because we do give the community that option to do that, and we do implement it and make it as part of tasks, because there might be other alchemists that might want to work on the same things that you do. I guess I'll answer another question. So for those who applied for the program, I mean, we have received like thousands of applications, and we do have a process where we do select a certain amount of people. We do have alchemists who take part of the screening process. If you were not selected, we do have more upcoming seasons. And if you really want to take part, I just let alchemists know, or people who aren't part of the program know, just to reach out to me. And then I can make sure to jot your name down so we can look out for your application for the next season. So there are a bunch of opportunities to actually get involved in the program if you weren't chosen for this season cohort. So have no fear, there are opportunities.
Also, there have been instances where community members have contributed to our ecosystem, not just Covalent, but for example, they participate in Aval Labs, something along those lines, and then put that note in their application. We'll definitely fast track that, because those are the kinds of incentives, those are the kinds of behaviors that we want to select for. So you can definitely continue to contribute, continue to participate, regardless of your status as an alchemist, because the next season will fast track your application process.
There's one question around listing. What would it take to get listed, get compatible with Ledger, Trezor, or Exodus? Nitin has asked that question.
So it's a standard ERC20 contract, which means that you can use this in any wallet. You can use a Covalent API. There's nothing special or weird about this particular token. It's a standard ERC20 contract on Ethereum. So any application that you use, any hardware wallet you use, any custodian you use, it's completely just compatible out of the box. There's nothing special that you need to do. Okay, I think that's about it for the governance call. And as always, thank you so much for your time and your attention. And keep the questions coming. This is how we collectively improve as a project. This is now a community-driven project. So if there are any criticisms, anything that we're not doing well, as Eric suggested, please open up to us. And we're all ears. Yeah, until next time, have a nice day. Take care.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Hi, everyone.